Has the man come back around on WWE for the final time? Becky Lynch is the talking point today, as it looks as if she could be on the way.
Yes, it does, Tom. She had a big old title match in a steel cage last night on Raw, where she came up short in what was a fantastic finish to the match. It was a ding-dong battle, as you would come to expect, with Becky Lynch getting a not all too heard about too often rematch so soon after what we saw in Saudi Arabia. And then obviously the JD come down because Liv Morgan's involved, which then brings out Braun Strowman. And as Braun Strowman's running around the ring to wipe out the JD, he knocks Dominic Mysterio into the steel cage door, which thwacks Becky Lynch in the face, who's trying to get out the cage at the time. She then falls down, Liv Morgan gets out of there, and Dominic Mysterio inadvertently, or is it, helps Liv Morgan retain her title.
And we even get the final shot of Raw being Liv Morgan planting a big old kiss on Dominic Mysterio.
Tom has not just lied there, because apparently America, it cut off. Raw ended before the kiss happened. I saw on Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter account this morning, but yes, it's all over social media. I've got to say, having sat there and watched the kiss in depth many times in a row, I've got to say Liv Morgan, it looked like on the surface of things, she was a lot more invested in the kiss than Dominic Mysterio was.
Oh, Dominic looked livid about the whole thing, but let it happen for up to 10 seconds, so he couldn't have been that cross about it, just saying. Anyway, that's not the point, as the show ends with Liv and Dom and that question mark over them. When Raw went off the air, it was Becky Lynch alone in the steel cage, sat looking very emotional as the crowd chant, "Thank you, Becky." She stands up, she salutes the crowd and leaves, no sort of getting on the mic and saying, "Thanks, everybody," just off and she goes. And all of this comes around some speculation of her future. It was earlier in the day that Fightful Select had reported that Becky Lynch had yet to sign a new deal, and PW Torch had added to that by saying that how the match goes on Raw will determine what's next for Becky Lynch, and it kind of suggests that this could be, at least for now, the end of Becky Lynch on WWE television.
Yeah, I don't know what you read from this, because we could be sat here today saying this, and then tomorrow Triple H will be on social media going, "My God, I can't believe how lucky I am to re-sign Becky Lynch to a new deal." But of course, Becky Lynch is playing up to, as you say there, with the stuff after the match inside the ring. There's a social media post which read, "To be continued, Iranu, Evavu, Irish chocolate." So we don't know when it's going to happen. But can you read too much into what happened on last night's Raw? Are they just doing that because they know the expectation within the fan base? If she loses, she must be going, "Oh my God." Could it just be Becky Lynch having a bit of time away from the wrestling to heal up her body like her husband? Who
Possibly it could be. So to give you the Fightful Select report that came out after Raw, Becky Lynch's current WWE contract is set to expire on June the 1st, at which time she will become a free agent unless a deal is reached before then. As of yesterday morning, Becky Lynch and WWE had not reached terms on a new contract, though the two sides had been in contact. We have not learned if a deal is imminent or agreed upon. Outside of that, there hasn't been a new deal reached. Lynch is expected by many in the industry to get the biggest offer of any woman in pro wrestling history. And he's very vague in terms of get an offer. Because there's another option in play here, and it's worth addressing the Tony Khan in the room when it comes to this, because it was something that Sean Ross Sapp mentioned, and he kind of mentioned it in an opining way, so I'm keen to point that out, but it's certainly a conversation, something that he talked about during the Fightful King and Queen of the Ring post-show.
Yeah, Sean said, I would say I'm pretty confident that Tony Khan would be willing to offer her more money than WWE is going to offer her. I fully believe AEW would initially offer more than WWE. Now, does that mean I think she's going to go there? I don't know. I mean, that guy's just full transparency. That could just be Sean Sapp going, Tony Khan has said in the past he is willing to throw money at the right talent. Becky Lynch is that right talent because it's Becky Lynch, the name value, everything she's done over the past however many years. Tony Khan would probably throw money at that lady.
I can see him absolutely doing that. We've seen him do it very recently with Mercedes Moné and with Kazuchika Okada as well. And this weekend will be quite interesting. If we get to this weekend and no deal has been signed with WWE, the AEW and other avenues are more than happy and more than allowed to approach her to talk about it. You can't do it currently because we're still in the sort of contract tampering element because she still has a deal. But this weekend, when that deal expires, Tony could take her out for a coffee or a hot dog in brine or whatever, some Irish chocolate, and go and sound her out on what she wants to do next.
I would love to be Becky Lynch this week.
Yeah.
Just knowing that you can sit there and just wait for the offers to come rolling in, and then you pick the one you want to have. Probably the one with the most money. That's what I would do. But also, just imagine it's just Triple H and Tony Khan groveling at your feet. Please sign with us, Becky. Please sign. It's like, I'll wait there now. I'll take my time. Because we don't know what's going to happen. She could have even, we've seen her do the stuff with the Cyndi Lauper appearance that she was doing on that their TV show way back in the day. That could be an avenue she goes down. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen.
She's been very keen to do that as well. A bit from PW Torch on this one as well. They said that Becky's WWE status would become clear after the main event of Raw. They were saying that a quick rematch with Liv and one final TV main event could indicate that she was not re-signing with the company, and it kind of gives a send-off to Becky Lynch with WWE in the event that we don't get that re-signing. Kind of gives us something to kind of wrap up with. In an update last night, PW Torch also reports she is not, according to what she's telling people in WWE, going to AEW imminently. Instead, multiple sources with insights into her situation indicate she is taking a hiatus. We are not aware of whether this is to spend more time at home and take a break from the grind, or if it's out of frustration with her contract offer from WWE. One colleague of hers tells PW Torch that Lynch will return to WWE someday and is confident they can work out a deal, especially with her husband, Seth Rollins, being a full-time wrestler there. But her body and mind could use a break for a while. Kind of echoes what you were saying, really. That could be due to take some time off the clock. The frustration with her current contract offer is an interesting part of this story as well. The fact that we are this close to the end of Becky Lynch's deal, a star of this caliber, and nothing's been signed, suggests there absolutely has to have been frustrations, because there's no way you get to this point. We've seen it recently with Drew McIntyre, where his deal went on and where they spent ages figuring that out. Damian Priest, as reigning world champion, his deal went to the wire as well. It seems like they're not in a mad rush to sign people up. I don't know whether it's the most stomach churning game of chicken you've ever heard, but there's been a few big names that they've not been in a mad rush to re-sign until the 11th hour.
Yeah, but as a talent, as the level of the talent you've just mentioned there, it is a nice position to find yourself in. Oh, my deal over here is running up. We know we're going to get an offer from the other side. Let's just let it go down to the wire so I get more money from the initial side where I know where I stand and that kind of thing. So it is an interesting thing to just sit back and look at, and we'll have to see where it goes in the next few weeks and months.
Where do you see Becky Lynch landing?
Oh, staying. She is WWE. I think, obviously, it would be nice to see her in AEW. AEW would benefit massively from Becky Lynch being there. I do think just because of who she is and what she's done over the past 10 years, whatever it's been now. But I just think she's going to re-sign. The husband's there. She knows where she stands on the card. There's still stuff for her to do on the card as well. I know Adam Copeland was saying that he just felt like he'd done everything there is to do in WWE. So he went over to AEW just to do some different stuff. I don't feel Becky, she's still got a little bit to do there.
I don't see her going to AEW at all. I don't see that being an avenue for her. And there's a few people within WWE I could see going and doing some stuff in AEW. I thought for a while that we might see Drew Galloway headlining at All In. That was a school of thought from last year. I don't see that with Becky. I think she's a WWE person through and through. But hey, look, if this weekend comes around and then the man comes around and has a conversation, there's no harm in just hearing those sides out and just saying, what could you offer me?
Yeah.
What could you do for me at this point?
Imagine being in that position.
Oh, great, isn't it? It's great. It's a story that we are going to keep an eye on, and you can keep an eye on with us throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.